All right, back to our top story. Hundreds of rescue workers are at the scene in Surfside, Florida, searching through rubble and evacuating survivors after a high-rise condo partially collapsed. It happened at the Champlain Tower South in Surfside, just north of Miami Beach overnight. Dramatic security footage captured the moment that disaster struck. There you see on the corner of your screen the building collapsing there. This is from Twitter. This is sort of, I think, Emery, the first look at that, the first image, the first images that we are seeing right now that we're showing on CBSN of that building collapse as it happened. Again, sourcing this video from Twitter. So CBS News has confirmed that at least one person was killed. Crews are desperately searching for survivors beneath layers and layers of rubble and debris. It is unclear what exactly caused the building to collapse. Let's bring in Manuel Bojorquez, who's at the scene, has been there since early morning. Manny, you've seen that video now on Twitter. It is remarkable. It's rare to see video like that of a building collapsing in real time as a person filmed it, but wow.
Yeah. And really heartbreaking when you think about the fact that there were people in there and that at this point authorities still have no idea how many people may have been inside the section of the building that collapsed. The section that is still standing is right behind me. The collapse is just on the other side. And as you mentioned, the mayor confirmed to us earlier at least one person was killed, 10 have been treated, 35 were pulled out of the building, and 2 were pulled from the rubble. One of those, according to the mayor, is the person who is deceased at this point. But the figures here are expected to rise. It is feared that perhaps significantly because of the extent of the collapse.
Manny, we heard at the earlier press conference that heavy machinery has been brought in. What's going on at the scene now?
Yeah, they are bringing in that machinery. You know, part of the search and rescue mission is getting in there as quickly as you can, but also doing it safely, not endangering the lives of the men and women who are in there right now looking for survivors. Complicating matters right now. We have storms rolling through the area with thunder and lightning as well. So it's going to be a really difficult day and perhaps several days. At a news conference earlier, another part of this personnel team handling this crisis, this incident, said it could be weeks that they're out here trying to figure out what happened, but the priority remains trying to find any survivors.
Manny, you know, one of the questions I had for you earlier is if you could just describe the area for us. It does look like these are luxury buildings, apartment buildings, I guess some office buildings as well. What is the neighborhood surrounding this collapsed building?
Just to help you situate where we are, everybody knows South Beach. This is just a few miles north of South Beach. It is a quieter community, retirees and families living here. And typically you would have what are called the snowbirds, right? People who come down here to Florida for the winter. They would leave during the summer, during the hurricane season, which we're in now. And they would typically shutter their balconies just to protect their structure. But this building, if you look at it behind me, you don't see many shutters, and that's an indication that these were families who live and work here and live there full time, and that's the indication we got from the mayor as well. So it's more of a family community here, and that just, you know, brings up the fear of how many people could be trapped in there. You saw a child being rescued earlier, that child alive. A bit of optimism here on such a dark day, but the investigation and the search and rescue are just getting started now.
Yeah, I think earlier we heard from a witness who had gotten out, turned around after he heard a child yelling and sort of scrambled in his flip-flops over the debris to help this child get out. The mayor said that he believed the building was probably built in sort of the 80s. For him, he said that's not an old building. We know there was some work being done. Do we have any other information about the building?
One city official has told us that the building, which is 40 years old, was undergoing its recertification, where they would be doing inspections on things, but we're not privy at this point to what kind of inspections they were doing and what they found. We've also heard from people that there was work being done on the roof, but no one is willing to say right now that that is something that they're looking into. They are considering all options here. But again, the mayor was pretty adamant that a building 40 years old, that, you know, built to the standards that they've had here for decades, should not be collapsing like this. So it's a mystery and a very tragic one at that.
All right, Manny Bojorquez there on the scene for us. As usual, Manny, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. We know you'll be updating us throughout the day.
Thank you.